sound of hope, but it's just really faint. Rarely does hope scream at us. It's nearly always just the quietest of whispers. Maybe in these last few weeks, frenetic activity has taken over in your life. The busyness of the norm has been replaced by just as much busyness in abnormal times. Maybe, just maybe, God is trying to say to us, look, in these strangest of times, will you just listen? Those wonderful words from Psalm 46 keep coming back to us. Be still and know that I am God. Yet the truth of it is that we're not very still. And half the time, we're freaking out and don't know that he is God. Maybe a paraphrase of that verse of the psalmist for today might be, will you just shut up for a second, says the Lord. I'm trying to talk to you. Maybe there are things in our lives that have gone unnoticed through activity. For all of us, whether we've walked with Jesus for many years or whether we're new to this thing. Maybe God in this time wants to communicate to us something profound that will demonstrate to us something more of his love and compassion for us, and will also teach us how to live for Jesus more, to love for him and to serve him in this world that so desperately needs hope at the moment. But first, we need to experience that hope. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's really, really quiet. But if you really listen, you'll hear it. I learnt a really important lesson recently from a friend who is blind. As I drove over to see him, I was admiring the beauty of God's creation all around me. And when I got there, I said to him, it's just so gorgeous. All this beauty to behold. And as I said it, of course, I realised my stupidity. He couldn't see the world around of us. But his response to me was stunning. Yes, he said, Cole, it is beautiful. What a wonderful God we have to create all this. And the penny dropped that, of course, although he couldn't see the creation around of him, he could listen to it. And his sense of hearing was so well tuned that he was appreciating elements of God's creation that I simply had missed. I live in a beautiful part of the world and I try and take my dog on a walk as often as I can. I've got a particular spot now on my dog walk which I call my listening post. I'll stand there for maybe 5 minutes or so with my eyes closed. It's a beautiful scene in front of me, but I decide instead to try and tune my sense of hearing to hear God's creation all around of us. I wonder in these times whether God is trying to teach us lessons that not just for now, but for all the future, we need to stop. We need to listen. We need to not be distracted by the things around of us that catch our sight, that demand our attention. But instead, in our lives, we need to stop and listen. Be still and know that He is God. I'm going to let the video run for a little bit, but I would encourage you just to close your eyes for just 1 minute and listen to what I hear at my listening post on my dog walk. The beauty of creation that you can hear all around of you. And don't just listen for the birds and the river. Listen instead for the voice of God in those things. What might God be trying to say to you in your life today? What ways does He want to meet with you this day? To commune with you? To teach you something more about who He is and of His love for you? So, be still and know that He is God. So did you hear it? Did you hear hope? Just in the quiet place, did God whisper hope to you? Share it with others. Tell the world they need to hear the hope of God. Maybe close your eyes sometimes. Maybe recognise that the busyness of our lives, especially in the last few weeks, is the exact opposite of what God might be trying to do in this period of time. Let's make this exercise more than just an exercise of doing. It wasn't do still and know that I am God. Let's learn to be still. And when we practice, then I believe that God will lead us and talk to us in the most profound of ways. God bless you over these weeks ahead. Let's recognise the opportunity to hear God's voice in these times. If you've got another minute or two now, I would encourage you to go and do a search on your internet browser for Gabriel and the Vagabond, which is a song by an artist called Foy Vance off his album that's entitled Hope. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song about how the hope of God is often a whisper rather than a shout. God bless you as you learn to hear the hope of God and put it into practice in your life.